Parvana's Journey, Chapter 10. Dear Shazia, we're going to have to walk again today, although I would rather just sit. I'm so tired, but I keep thinking of what my father always said. If we stop, we die. Hassan flops around. He's like a sack of rice. His eyes are dull and he doesn't respond when we talk to him. It's like he's already gone away. The grass we ate yesterday upset our stomachs. We all have this nasty stuff pouring out of the bottom of us. It's bad enough for Asif and me, but it's worse for Hassan, who has no clean clothes left. It's a good thing the sun is warm today because he's naked until his laundry dries. One of us has to keep fanning him to keep the flies away. Wait a minute, Parvana thought. Hassan hadn't eaten any grass. They had tried to feed him some, but he wouldn't take it. So why was he sick? Then she knew. She'd forgotten to boil the water before they drank it. She knew well enough to do that. Even back in Kabul, where the water came from a tap in the street, it had to be boiled before you could drink it. Unboiled water could make people sick. Everybody knew that. She looked out at the little pond they'd been living beside and drinking from for 3 days. Fast-moving streams were sometimes safe, but water in ponds always had to be boiled. How many times had her father told her that? No wonder they were all sick. She took up her pen again. I'm tired of having to remember things. I want someone else to do the remembering. Parvana put her writing things back in her shoulder bag and gathered some dried grasses to build a fire so she could boil some water. Until someone else came along, she would have to take care of things. At least with our stomachs upset, we don't feel like eating, she said, when the baby's clothes had dried and they were walking again. Asif didn't answer. It seemed to take all of his energy to simply keep moving. Parvana knew she should carry Hassan for him, but she didn't offer. 2 more days passed. The children stopped for yet another rest. Parvana sat with her writing things in her lap. She was going to write another letter to Shazia, but she couldn't bear to write again about how hungry they were, or how thirsty, or how much Hassan stank. She was tired of writing those things. She wanted to be able to write something new. If only the world were different, she thought. She closed her eyes and imagined a cool, green valley, like the one her mother's family came from, only better and brighter than the way her mother had described it. She thought of the sort of place where she would like to live. Then she opened her eyes and began to write. Dear Shazia, this morning we came to a hidden valley in the Afghan mountains, so secret that only children can find it. It's all green, except where it's blue or yellow or red or other colors I don't even know the names of. The colors are so bright you think at first they will hurt your eyes, but they don't. It's all so restful. Parvana kept writing, and as her words filled the page, she could see Green Valley more clearly in her mind. It almost became real. Writing to your friend again? Asif asked from where he was sitting. Do you want to hear it? Why would I want to hear what a couple of girls have to say to each other? You'll like this, Parvana said. Let me read it to you. Asif didn't say yes, but he didn't say no, so Parvana read out what she had written. Green Valley is full of food. Every day we eat like we are celebrating the end of Ramadan. I just finished eating a big platter of Kabuli rice with lots of raisins and big hunks of roasted lamb buried inside it. After that, I ate an orange as big as my head and 3 bowls of strawberry ice cream. No one in Afghanistan has ice cream anymore, except for the children of Green Valley, and we can have as much as we want. You would love it here. Maybe when you get tired of France, you could come here, and this is where we could meet instead of the Eiffel Tower. Now that I've found this place, I never want to leave. We can drink the water here without boiling it, and we don't get sick. The other children tell me it's magic water. All the children here have both arms and legs. No one is blind, and no one is unhappy. Maybe Asif's leg will even grow back. Parvana finished reading. She sighed deeply and put the letter down. It sounded foolish. While she was writing it, she could see everything so clearly. But now she could only think about her empty belly, Asif's terrible cough and blown-off leg, and the horrible smell coming from Hassan. Green Valley! Asif kicked at the dirt with his foot. There's no such place. No, Parvana said flatly. There's no such place. I made it up. Why? Parvana shrugged. I just thought that if I could imagine it, I could make it real. Just like Alexander the Great's treasure in the cave, Asif taunted. Parvana was furious with herself for sharing her dream with Asif, but mostly for having a dream in the first place. His leg would not grow back, there would never be enough food, and unboiled water would always make people sick. She ripped the paper out of the notebook, balled it up, and threw it into the field. A breeze picked up the little ball of paper and sent it back to her. It landed just out of her reach. She picked up a stone and threw it at the paper. She missed, then threw another stone angrily. Those are lousy throws, Asif said. Oh, you think you could do better with those skinny arms of yours? I could throw better than you if I had no arms. The challenge was on. Parvana helped Asif stand up and she handed him some stones. He leaned on one crutch as he threw. His first throw went a lot farther than hers. I told you. My first throws didn't count, Parvana insisted. I wasn't trying. She threw another rock. This was much better. They kept throwing. Sometimes Asif's throw went farther, sometimes hers did. She kept handing Asif rocks and he kept throwing them. Anyone can throw these small stones, Asif said. Give me some big rocks and I'll show you how to really throw. Parvana made a little pile of rocks big enough to need 2 hands to throw. She had to hold him up while he threw these because he couldn't throw and hold on to his crutches at the same time. The effort made him cough, but he kept trying. Parvana picked up the largest rock in the pile. It was quite heavy. She put all her strength behind it and heaved it into the field. The ground roared and rose up in front of them as if a monster was punching its way through from below. The children screamed. They screamed and kept screaming as the dust settled. Asif threw a stone at Parvana's shoulder. You led us into a minefield, he hollered, his rage making his voice even louder than Hassan's screams. You are the stupidest girl with all your writing and all your friends. You don't know what you're doing. We will all be blown up. You are stupid, stupid, stupid. As he yelled at her, his hand kept grabbing at the place where his leg used to be. Something made Parvana put her arms around Asif's frail body. They dropped to the ground, gathered up the stinking, weeping Hassan, clung to each other, and cried and cried.